For a long time now, season 3 of Invincible has been streaming on Prime, and I've been seeing it. I've seen it. I like the Invincible series. I think season 1 and season 2 were both pretty good. Obviously, season 1 being just a bit better than season 2, but they were both good in their own little fancy ways. And when that came along, season 3 came out, right? And I kind of want to talk about it. I'm not gonna go, deep dive Invincible season 3 full on episode review, step by step, 0.25 speed, everything that you missed. Like, I'm not gonna do like that. I'm gonna do like a general overview of it. And yeah, I've seen the first five episodes. Oh, and before I go into it, I'm gonna just tell you guys right now, season 1 and season 2, I don't really have a clear eyesight of it, so I might get things messed up, and if that's the case, then you know what I'm talking about. If you don't know, then just listen out. No, I might be wrong. Fair warning. So, season 3, it's actually pretty good. I like it, but most people out there have mixed opinions about it. Uh, and there was one thing I do have to say about it as well. I think you can honestly kind of tell that some of the people who work on, like the animation people who work on it, is kind of getting a little bit. I don't want to say lazy, but it's not as good as it was a long time ago. There were two scenes I want to point out in particular. Two scenes that stand out to me. It's two scenes that my dad and I saw. There was one scene in season 1 where I think Explosion and Invincible were stopping the stealing of the Declaration of Independence, right, from the two twins. And what happened was that they were running down the stairs, right, and the stairs weren't that big. They were running down it, and they were having that little, freaking anime running, moving, going down the stairs, fighting everybody. But the background thing, it wasn't moving at all. So it was just like staying in one. It was kind of like me doing this, right, with like everything moving except for the background. Like it looks kind of like I'm just running in place, uh, and that I can point out. And the other thing that I also want to point out is that also in the very very beginning, there was Indian version of what's her name? I completely forgot. Invincible's mom. I forgot her name. Don't get mad. It was kind of like an Indian version of her, and I spotted out because that proves that they reused some assets, to do it. So I got confused. I'm like, whoa, wow, why did she turn Indian? But what happened was that they just reused her character asset instead of just making an entirely new character. So I do know, this isn't the best. I do know that animation got flunky a little bit, but mind that, it's still pretty good. And most of the people who are like criticizing it are like nitpicking. Like I saw a lot of like Twitter tweets talking about this show, season 3, and I saw them just like absolutely just freaking nitpicking the crap out of this show. And if you look at this show and nitpick it, because most people, like what they pointed out, most people, like normal people with human eyes that doesn't, watch the show in like 2.5 speed, wouldn't spot those things out. And it's just like general animation like mistakes that most animation companies make. So I don't want to nitpick it. I think nitpicking a show can just make it honestly very weird. But these are like mistakes that people are just like nitpicking. And obviously there are some animations out there, like the ones I just pointed out, that most people can spot out. But most of the tweets I see on there are like people like nitpicking the show. That's like absolutely like taking a little tiny piece. Oh, see this? When Invincible uppercut that one red monster thing, it looks like they just dragged it. But when I saw it, I didn't really imagine it like that. I don't really meant it. Or like, oh, here at this exact minute and second and millisecond, there was a mistake here with where the character was actually flipped upside down for like 1 millisecond and then else to flip back. And like, nobody's gonna see that. Obviously, there are some things out there that people have seen, and that is a mistake. And the ones that I pointed out are some of the big mistakes. But I don't get there are some people out there who just absolutely nitpick the crap out of this show, and it's kind of sad because most people won't see it like that. Because I look at that show as like a actual like real life story. I treat Invincible like how I treat like a freaking live action movie, live action TV show like Reacher or Breaking Bad or all the other ones. Like that's how I treat it. And obviously, there will be mistakes in that show or movie. I understand it, right? So I don't know. It's kind of weird. Obviously, I agree with the fact that the animation of Invincible has gone down. It's not the best as it was a long time ago, but if you nitpick the crap out of it, it's not going to be any good. So there's also been another controversy. I might as well just make this video just talking about thinking what's wrong with Invincible 3. But there's also been another controversy where it's like, well, also, let me talk about a good thing, actually. Um, Adam, at the, wow, Eve and Mark are officially a couple. That's the big thing about this show. I mean, this season. They actually became a couple. Now it's comic, it's following the comic canon story now, uh, which how it is. And also most of the comic people know what's gonna happen because obviously they read the comic. So yeah, um, they're officially a couple. They're doing those things, doing this, doing that. Um, cool. That's good. Uh, and all the other things like Oliver being there. I really like who Oliver is as a person. Uh, Obviously, he's just like your stereotypical like kid superhero, and he reminds me a lot of like Mark when he was with his dad a lot. Like the younger version of Mark was like with his dad. Oliver is kind of like him, and Invincible Mark is kind of like hit like Omni Man, not Omni Man, but you know, it's like two things are colliding with each other. It's the same thing. That's like what's happening, and I find that really really cool. Um, Obviously, I don't really want to talk much about this show if you haven't seen it. If this show was over, I would have been talking more about it. But Oliver is an interesting character. Reminds me a whole lot about like young Mark out there. Another thing I want to point out is that I'm not really a big fan of Mark's new outfit, the black and blue thing. I really like his black, blue, and yellow outfit. I like that way better, but that's also a nitpick I have about it. I'm not really a big fan of that outfit. It doesn't really like stand out to me. It kind of looks kind of flunky, winky. But I know that's like part of the comic, because the comic has that outfit in it. But if I was looking at the comic, I'd be like, oh wow, I really like his yellow outfit better than his black and blue outfit. So that's another thing I want to talk about. That's just one thing. Let's see what else. Going to the globe. They're still the same people. They left because of I think Immortal and like all like the people coming back. Duplicate is back. There's a new one like Multipaw is there. Machine Guy is there. I think Machine Guy wasn't Machine Face. Titan is there. So most of the 20 people are there. Omni Man and Alan. Alan the Alien are obviously still in space. They're fighting. Battle Beast is there. They're fighting all these people. It's kind of like a separate story. So like when like Eve and Mark are having sex, it cuts to like it cuts to Omni Man or Nolan and Alan the Alien, and it cuts to them, fighting it out, trying to break out of prison. Like it's cool. I like it. Um, Nothing really interesting happens. That I want to point out. There are some big things that happen, but I don't really want to point it out because I'm pretty sure most people haven't seen the show, or there are some people out there who want to wait until all the episodes are out, and they want to watch it. So yeah. Let's see what else. What I have here. I'm gonna pause. So Cecil is an interesting character as well. There are people who are hating on him, and there are also people who are kind of for him. I don't really understand the whole Cecil thing. It was kind of like a gag back in like episode 3 and 1 to 3. I don't really understand like why people will go against him. I know like Mark and him are like fighting. Like there was this one time where freaking Mark choked Cecil, like pushed him to the freaking wall, choking him out. But I don't really understand like what's up with the whole Cecil thing. I mean, I don't know really why he hates him. I know I actually have a big plot hole in my head. I don't know if that's a thing on me. I don't really understand why, why people will go against him and why people will go for him. I might look into that more. But when it comes to like plot like this, there are some things in the plot that I just don't understand, and that's like one of the things I don't understand. And You can also see how like Mark. There was some. I think in also the very beginning of the episode, because it's what stands out. Episode 5 was like a filler episode. I didn't really like it. I'm not a big fan of filler episodes. Like take for example like Avatar: The Last Airbender. I love that show. That show is amazing. Like it's an amazing kid show. But the filler episodes I just didn't like. I'm not really a big fan of filler episodes, which is also like the reason why I don't want to watch One Piece, because One Piece has so many filler episodes. You can like put it into like a little, you know, a big freaking like 1 mile can of how big that is. But you know what I'm saying. I'm not a big fan of filler episodes. So episode 5 was a filler episode. I didn't really like it that much. You know, as an episode, it was a good episode, but it was filler. It didn't have make any sense. I feel like you could have skipped it. I think like the only like big thing that happens in that episode is like Machine Guy, Machine Face, is back. As him, uh, but what I really want to talk about is like how Mark is like you can like see Mark turning into his father. So there's like this one scene where he's in the White Room with Cecil, and that was a big twist. Like wow, the White Room was for you know Invincible, just in case he gets mad. So that happened, and then there's like this scene where he was fighting those monsters, and it looked like the exact combat style, the exact animation as what Nolan did to the original Guardians of the Globe back in episode 1, season 1, episode 1. And it was cool. And I saw that like, wow, look at this guy. He's slowly turning into his dad. Even when that happened, when he freaking give the freaking invest punches to Angstrom back in I think season 2. That's when you can also see that he's slowly turning into his dad. I like the subtle like comparison. Like if you really saw season 1 and season 2, you can see how like Mark is slowly turning into his dad, but he's kind of not, because he's trying his best, because he made like a deal with his mom. Well, he doesn't want to like kill anybody. He wants to kind of like stay, like if he kills someone that seems a bad thing, which is why he gets mad at like Oliver when he killed those like two. I forgot what they're called. I suck with names. Like I'm god awful with names. When he killed the two blue big monsters, I forgot the names. Don't get mad, please. When he killed those two monsters, that's why he gets mad, because he's not supposed to kill anybody. They're not supposed to kill anybody. So, they can avoid becoming, like Omni-Man, and they don't want that to happen. So, a lot of things happen. So many things happen. I really do like to talk about each episode individually, but if I really wanted to do like a full, like, complete guide about it, I would have to rewatch it. I have to probably rewatch each episode, and then right after I watch that episode, I'll come back and I'll make a video talking about it. But I don't have time for that. So what I did, I just took what I have in my head from what I remembered, and I just spit it out. I just puked it onto a camera, and that's kind of like what I saw. So overall, season 3 is honestly coming out pretty good. Obviously, not though. People have mixed feelings about it, but I mean that's what happens when you push freaking them to like make a season. So I'm excited. I mean, there was so many new I'm also waiting for so many different ones coming out. Like The Boys season 5 should be coming out this year. Reacher season 3, which I love a lot. I love the Reacher TV show on Prime. That they already released 3 episodes of season 3, so I have that to watch as well as Invincible, and hopefully The Boys will come as well. And there are so many other things like releasing. Like it's cool. Like there's a lot of things coming, and I'm excited. 2025 is honestly very like exciting and very interesting for the entertainment industry, because there were so many cool games that are coming out this year, and there are so many good TV shows and movies that should be coming out this year. Like it's stacked. Like 2025 is stacked with things coming out. So that's my opinion about Invincible season 3. I know it sounds like I didn't watch a single minute or second of the show, but I tried my absolute best to describe it. I'm good with like keeping plot in my head, but it's very hard for me to take what I have in my head and to put it out into words, trying to sound comprehensive. Because if I was to take exactly what I said in my head, it's gonna sound like a disorganized pile of words that freaking more disorganized than like a computer science a comp sci major's freaking room. Like that's how disorganized it'll be. Like it's gonna be disorganized. But I try my best. Hopefully I got my point across. All in all, season 3 is really good so far. Obviously it can be better, animation can be better. Hopefully there isn't a lot of filler episodes, so hopefully the last three episodes are gonna be crispy and spicy and good, which I'm pretty sure it will be. But yeah, Invincible, good. I love it. It's good. That's it. Thanks for watching.